Welcome back to the hub. I'm Michael, and I know how stressful this weather is for beginners. It's hard enough keeping bonsai happy under normal conditions, but when the thermometer spikes, it's easy to make mistakes that kill your trees. If your bonsai trees look this, or you're just terrified they're about to, don't panic. We are in the middle of a serious heat wave, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to do right now to keep my collection alive. I don't have a professional nursery with misting systems. I have this garden and a handful of trees, just like you. And the biggest challenge for us beginners is keeping them happy when the thermometer spikes. Tip 1, the touch test. In this heat, once a day isn't enough. You need to check the soil morning and evening. If this topsoil feels dry, water it. Don't wait for a schedule. Tip 2, shade is your best friend. Even if your tree loves sun, that midday heat is different. Move them into a spot with afternoon shade. It's the simplest fix I've ever found. Tip 3, boost humidity around the roots. If you don't have a moisture tray, a simple tray with some pebbles and water does the trick. It creates a little microclimate that keeps those roots cool. Heat waves are tough, but with these small adjustments, your trees will pull through. What are you doing to handle the heat? Are you moving them inside or shading them? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your tricks. This is Brian. He is my absolute largest Chinese elm bonsai, and honestly, he's become one of the crown jewels of my collection. But he didn't always look this lush and defined. Take a look at this. When I first brought Brian home, he was a bit of a diamond in the rough. The potential was absolutely there. Look at that incredible S-curved trunk. But the foliage was a bit wild, the paths weren't defined, and you just needed a clear direction. Let's go back to the beginning. When you're shopping for a large specimen bonsai like this, you're not looking for perfection. You're looking for the things you can't change, like trunk thickness, movement, root flare and nabari. These can't be easily changed. Let's talk about the repotting first. In spring 2026, when I was repotting this, I made a decision just to simply repot it back in this. All I had to do was just drill some extra drainage holes in the bottom to make sure it had adequate drainage. I also think this blue ceramic pot complements the green leaves lovely, and it shows off the tree's masculinity. And for the soil, I just removed from that heavy nursery organic soil that came in. I switched it up for a high quality free draining substrate mix. This mix consists of academia, pumice stone and lava rock. This allows the roots to breathe. It prevents root rot and promotes healthy fibrous root growth. This is exactly what any potted bonsai needs. Spring 2026, and the question on my mind was, where's the apex? It just wasn't there. How do we overcome that? By hard pruning all these lower branches below the apex, removing all crossing stems, all clustered growth. This could be done 2 or 3 times in 1 month, but doing this allows the tree to divert its energy to regrow in the apex. By clearing out the space between its branches, I created these distinctive foliage pads. In bonsai, the space between these branches is just as important as the branches themselves. This gives the illusion of an ancient tree in nature. While this new growth is fantastic, these long shoots are starting to blur the lines of the tree. So the time has come to give Brian a quick trim. So when you trim any bonsai, it's a good idea to start at the bottom and work your way up through the branches, thinning them out until you reach the apex. I've hard pruned these lower branches. This will be the 5th time this month, believe it or not, although I haven't shown it on video. Cutting these hard back allows the tree to force its energy to regrow in this apex is what I want. So I mean, the focus now is just not trying to establish this, just about establishing the apex growth. Cutting this back. Just work your way up, removing all extensions, just back to 2. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but it's the only way to rebuild these pads and force the apex to grow. Keep working your way up through the branches, just nipping off all extension growth. I'm not really thinking about any shape at the moment. Surprising what a bit of sun does to the bonsai. Working my way up, just nipping off back to 2 or 3. This may look a little unnecessary for this tree, but it's essential to perform the structural pruning to guide this apex in the right direction. So what I'm doing now is just removing all crossing branches and using that directional pruning to guide these branches in the right direction. It's amazing how far this has come already in the time I've had it with the right correct key. It really is incredible how far this has come already. I'm not too worried about the shape of this at the moment. Just guiding growth in the right direction. Well, I think that's it for this elm at the moment. And here's the finish. Apex is really on its way. Branches are structurally pruned to guide the apex in the right direction. As you can see, that looks more in keep with the tree's design, and the future is bright for Brian. At the end of the video, I hope you enjoyed this short production on the life of Brian, and if you'd like to see more of Brian throughout this growing season, please subscribe and turn your notifications on. We'll check back with Brian in the next couple of weeks, and I'll show you how well he's performed to this structural pruning. Thank you for watching. In this deciduous tree from a bush into a bonsai. The tree is a golden larch. What I'm going to do now is just remove it back to last year's growth. Look at those extensions. This tree in the autumn gives a lovely appearance, lovely gold, yellowy, burnt appearance. That's completed. It didn't need much maintenance, just a general tidy up, but we'll be doing more with this tree as we get closer to the fall, winter. If you like this tree, I would love to follow its journey throughout the season. Please hit that subscribe button and make sure notifications are turned on. It's now Friday. Let's check these here layers. These two layers have been on 6 weeks now on this ground-grown crab apple of mine. Let's check. Just to confirm, it is Friday today, so let's get started and see if I've been successful. I can see lots of swelling, which is a good sign. I've had to spend so much time spraying these with the recently weather we've had with the heat spells. I'm very surprised that it's actually taken, if it has taken. Oh my goodness, wow. It's actually bursting through the homemade bag I made, the whole spag and moss in. That is full. I think what I'll do now is just cut this off and soak it in a bucket of fresh water and come back. Let's chop this off so you can see me doing it. Show you. If I was to peel it off now, I would just snap the roots. So I'll just go and do that quickly and come back. You can see how well roots have formed in this, look. It's all the way around. Actually pop in the bag, this bag of moss. I just soaked this now for 5 minutes. And you can see how successful that was in the summer. That's been on 5.5 weeks. Hardest job was trying to keep this moist with all the persistent heat waves we've been having here in Wales and everywhere else. But that is excellent. Right, let's go on to the next one. I'll just pot this up and we'll go on to the next one. And here we have it. That's the first day layer taken this year off my ground-grown crab apple tree. Let's move on to the second one on this ground-grown crab apple tree. I've not pre-checked these before filming. Oh, this is fun, this one. You got to be careful not to snap these roots off because they're really, really soft and brittle. Oh yeah, that's good enough to take. Oh, that one too is really, really good. Not as good as the last one, but there's enough root growth there to get it through. So I'll chop this off now and soak it, and I'll come back to you. So here's the second day layer of the crab apple grown in the ground. This is Friday. That's been on 6 weeks. I've also got a new root hormone which I've used, and it's been very successful on a few other projects I've got on the garden at the moment. But they're brilliant. So I'll just go and slip this in some soil and I'll be right back. 2 new crabapple bonsai projects. The soil I just potted them in is just a sandy loam soil with added bark vines in. So I'll keep these in a shaded spot out of the sun for 6 to 8 weeks and just water them. I'll also put some Naruto slow-release fertiliser just to help them on their way. But these now I'll keep for a while, and I'll probably just pass on through eBay. I don't like wasting anything. I don't like chopping off. If I can recycle and keep bonsai art going, I will. So all it's left to do is to give these a clean up on the top, cut on a 45 angle to allow water not to sit on the top and rot out. And this one cut off. Just put a bit of putty on the top. Stops infection, diseases. It's putty. Here's a front view. The putty. So today I just removed 2 ear layers on my ground grown crab apple. The ear layers are on 6 weeks and both were very successful. So if you'd like to follow the story and the progress on these 2 crab apples, please subscribe and turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. So now I get these watered and get them put in the shade. Thank you for watching. Hello and a warm welcome to the channel. Today's topic will be on the Dawn Redwood group. Last year, me and my son were walking through our local woods and we come across this piece of abandoned oak. So what we done, we took it home with us. And last year, I just spent the season carving this out, ready for this planting to go in it. And I repotted this group spring this year into this oak. As you can see, it's loaded with growth. Dawn Redwood, Metasequiwa are fast growers, especially if they're given room in their pots to grow. There's 5 redwoods in this planting, but my plan is to increase it to 7 or 9 to give it that proper forest look. As you can see, me repotting this in this oak slab in spring this year, the growth extension is doubled. As you can see in this forest, there's a lot of crossing branches. There's a lot of light being blocked on the top here. So today, I'm just going to free up some of the space here in the canopy to let more light down this bottom edge of the pot. Here you can see all these ingrowing branches. From this angle you can see the branches that he's removing. Now this is the back of the forest. Crossing branches, just remove them. Removing all the growth as close together. Removed all the crossing branches, shortened the extensions. to let more light and air flow through. Well, that's it today from me and this little Dawn Redwood group. If you found this video useful, please don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications on. And also, new video coming out, The Life of Brian. Keep your eyes out for that, because that's coming very soon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Welcome back to my channel. Last week I asked you guys to take a vote on which of my cuttings we should develop into the future bonsai. The choices were this Chinese Elm, the Ficus Ginseng, and this 18-month-old Dawn Redwood that I took from my parent tree. When the votes were counted, I knew overwhelmingly chose the Dawn Redwood. This is an awesome choice because redwoods grow rapidly. But to get that thick, powerful trunk we want for a bonsai, we need a specific strategy. Today we are upgrading this housing using a method that will supercharge this root system without causing any transplant shock. Instead of putting this tree into a traditional bonsai pot or a standard plastic pot, we are using a plastic pond basket. Why? It all comes down to root health and trunk thickness. In a normal pot, roots grow out, hit the solid plastic wall and start circling. That creates a weak, tangled root system. In a pond basket, the mesh allows maximum air circulation and drainage. When the root reaches the edge, it encounters air and dries out at the tip. This is called air pruning. It forces the tree to constantly send out thousands of tiny white fibrous feeder roots closer to the trunk. More feeder roots mean faster nutrient uptake, which means a much thicker trunk much faster. Because this tree is only 80 months old and right in the middle of its growing phase, we don't want to disturb the roots today. We aren't doing any heavy bare rooting or root pruning. Instead, we are slip potting. This simply means gently sliding the entire root ball out of its current home and dropping it directly into the larger basket. Because the existing root structure stays completely intact, the tree experiences zero shock. It won't stall its growth for even a single day. It will just immediately start expanding into its new space. First, we need to add a base layer of soil to the bottom of the basket. Because pond baskets drain so incredibly fast, you want a soil mix that holds a good amount of moisture but still remains loose and gritty. I'm using a blend that ensures excellent oxygen flow around those emerging roots. We want to fill the bottom just enough so that when we place the redwood inside the top of the soil, it currently sits just below the rim of the basket. Never bury a trunk base, as redwoods need their root flare exposed. Now let's make the move. I'll slide the redwood out. You can see those roots are healthy and ready for more space. We drop it right into the middle of the basket. Now I'm just going to add some slow release fertilizer around the perimeter of the roots and to the edge of the pot. As this is a slow release fertilizer, it won't burn the roots. Now we just fill in the gaps around the perimeter with our fresh soil mix. Give the basket a few firm taps to help the soil settle into any air pockets around the edges. Use your fingers to gently firm the top, ensuring there are no massive gaps, but keep it loose enough for air to breathe through the sides. Because it's a pond basket, you want to water it until it runs completely clear out of the bottom and sides. Since we slip potted, this tree can go straight back into a sunny spot without any recovery time. Over the next few months, these mesh sides are going to work magic on the roots. Thank you to everyone who voted. Drop a comment below on how you think we should style this in the future. Hit subscribe to follow its bonsai transformation, and I'll see you in the next video. Let's get straight into it. Last week I potted this Dawn Redwood grown from cutting into this larger pond basket. In doing this, will speed up growth and boost overall health. But I want to start styling this. Redwoods are known for growing upright, standing tall, known for their red textured bark. But what should we do for this tree? So now I'm ready to start removing any unnecessary growth on this tree. Remove any barred branches, So I'm cutting these right back to here, so they're too long. And this is what it looks like after pruning now, more refined. So I must admit that looks a lot better, a lot less restricted, a lot more light, and get down through the canopy and reach the bottom of the pot. Now next for this, I just keep this in the shade, water it as normal, and just monitor it. But in the next video then, we'll add some wire and direct these branches down and give it that proper redwood look, but that's in the next video. Also, coming next week is the DeSojo. I'll be removing the air layer from that, so make sure you stay tuned for that. This Dawn Redwood started as a single cut-in around 18 months ago. Last week we repotted it into a pond basket to explode the root system and boost its growth. Today we're taking the next big step, wiring and bending these branches down into shape as true redwoods grow in nature. But right now the branches are grown outwards. To turn this into a real bonsai, we need to bend those branches down. Today we are using aluminium bonsai wire, 2mm, 3mm and finally 4mm. The key to Dawn Redwoods is anchoring the wire firmly so we don't damage the soft bark. Dawn Redwoods are reasonably flexible, but you still have to support the branch with your thumb. Last bit to wire. Let's bend these branches down. Now for the apex, you have to be extra careful here. From an 18-month-old cut-in that was growing wild to a perfectly shaped silhouette ready for the rest of the season. That wiring was tricky. If you'd like to know how this tree develops in the pond basket over the next few months, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment below. How low would you bend these lower branches? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome to the channel here at Bonsai Hobbyist Hub. My name is Michael. Today's demonstration will simply be about deadheading an azalea. Start by removing all of the pistils, i.e. the flower buds. Just use your bonsai scissors just to cut behind the flower, and you'll have the pistil. It's basically what you should be after. Goes all over the tree. If you've let your azalea bloom and you don't do this step, all you do is allow your tree or bonsai to go to seed. Now that is done, we can give your tree a tidy up by cutting all long extensions. I normally like cutting back to 2. All large extensions are cut back to the base of where the flower. This year has been probably the best year for this azalea, but I've sacrificed a lot to get it to this stage by removing the flower buds in March before they start swelling. Repeat the process all over the tree. I think that's it. That's all dead-headed and pruned ready for next year. We have watched them bloom, we've cleared away the dead flowers, and we've finished our post-bloom pruning. Now your Satsuki and Azalea rhododendron are ready for the most critical step of the season, setting up next year's health and massive bud explosion. Today we are talking about why this moment is a crucial window for repotting and my exact 4-week fertilising routine for summer growth. Before we feed them, a quick note but important note on timing. Right now, immediately after flowering and pruning is the absolute best window of the year if you need to repot your azaleas. This is because the trees are entering a massive root growth phase. Before we feed them, a quick note but important note on timing. Right now, immediately after flowering and pruning is the absolute best window of the year if you need to repot your azaleas. This is because the trees are entering a massive root growth phase. If you are repotting, always use an acidic medium. Use 100% Canuma for Satsuki and Rhododendron Azalea. If your trees don't need repotting this season, then leave them be. Let's move straight into what every azalea needs, fuel. Because azaleas have finished blooming and pruning has stimulated new shoots, they are incredibly hungry. However, they have highly sensitive fine root systems, so chemical liquid fertilizers can easily burn them. This is why I use Naroko. It is a gentle, slow-release organic fertilizer that breaks down safely over time without spiking soil toxicity. Apply your Naroko pellets directly to the soil surface now, or if you are using fertilizer baskets, top them up. Repeat this process exactly 4 weeks throughout the growing season, but stop during the flowering stage. Spread the pellets evenly around the edge of the pot. Keep away from the main trunk. This encourages the roots to grow outwards. Keep up this 4-week cycle until late summer. Stop and then forces the tree to stop producing delicate new leaves. Instead, it shifts its energy to harden off its brand new flower buds so they can survive the winter. This post-bloom window closes fast. Whether you are taking advantage of this time to repot a root-bound tree or simply locking in your 4-week Naroko feeding routine, acting now ensures a spectacular show next season. Hit that like and subscribe button if this helped you out, and comment below to let me know how your azaleas are looking this season. See you in the next video. A month ago, I completely stripped and pruned these azaleas. Now today, I will show you how they both responded. Here I removed all flowers and pistils. In letting them bloom, this drains all stored energy from the azaleas, thus making them weak. Also pruning back long growth back to 2 leaf nodes. This technique prepares the trees for next year's growth. And here is the Azalea rhododendron after deadheading, pruning. Here you can see all the new growth is pushed. I was back budded and looking really healthy and set up for next year's growth. And here is the Satsuki Azalea. You can see all the new growth, all the extensions, how lush and green that looks, how healthy. This is just from doing that guided pruning and removing the pistils to balance the energy back to the tree. My care plan for the rest of the season for the Satsuki Azalea are to water when needed, but avoid overwatering. Carry on fertilising monthly with a slow release fertiliser, but remember to stop in October. And in practicing these techniques, you will have one healthy azalea to start the next season, full of life, full of energy. It's pretty much the same for this Azalea rhododendron. Water when needed, but not too much. Feed monthly with a slow release fertiliser. You can see all the lush growth on this. It's fantastic. You can see how well these azaleas have bounced back after deadheading, pruning, fertilising. Now these are two healthy azaleas ready for next year. So today's video was just to prove to you that in real time how well your azalea or Satsuki azalea can bounce back after pruning and deadheading at the correct time of the season. Now you can see these two are set up for the rest of the season and start 2027 full of life, energy, and that's what we want in your azalea. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and we'll see you in the next video. So we've done our post-bloom deadheading, pruning and catch up on this azalea. But there's one more step that I like to do before winter hits for all my azaleas. Algae and moss may look harmless, but on an azalea they can become a real problem. The thin bark traps moisture underneath, so after rain or watering it stays damp for longer. Over time that constant moisture weakens the bark. And the subject being green moss or algae at the base or around your trunk on your azalea. Thick moss and algae can also hide scale insects, aphids and other pests, making them much harder to spot before they damage the tree. Tools for this maintenance cleanup are a soft bristled toothbrush, soft enough not to damage the bark on the azalea, clean water for scrubbing, wooden chopstick for getting into some stubborn areas and loosening some moss, and a spray bottle for rinsing off. Satsuki Azalea. Carry out this maintenance every year after I've done the post-bloom deadheading and the pruning. Just expose that root flare and just generally just tidy up the nabari. This is the smallest azalea rhododendron in my collection. I've had this approximately 2 years and I let it bloom this year for the first time. Just work away at the moss, careful not to damage any fine roots, as azaleas have fine roots. Now onto my azalea rhododendron. To get this root flare, I've been doing this to this azalea. I think this is probably the 3rd year I've been doing this to expose these roots and to keep it clean. But you can see the difference. Try and get in as close you can to all these nooks and little crannies, anywhere anything can hide and cause potential harm. And that's all from these 3 azaleas, cleaned and looking their best, from bloom to deadheading, pruning and finally cleaning the trunks and the nabari. You've seen the complete post-bloom care cycle. A clean trunk not only looks better, but also makes it easier to spot potential problems early. How do you clean your azaleas after flowering? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your method. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe for more bonsai content, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.